Hey, greetings, everybody. This is Wesley Pepper. This is the Art Lecture podcast. This is episode 116. And yeah, man, before I get into today's guest, yeah, man, I did the last two episodes with Cabello Mofokeng. We closed and I had a lot of fun things making. We'll probably do something similar in the future. And then, yeah, but just look out for his book, Hunger and Arrival. I saw it's actually had exclusive books and a bunch of other books also. So look out for that. Kabza is a dope ass poet. So it'll definitely be worth your purchase. And just one or two other things. Asar Kebulan and I haven't been recording for a while, but we are. We actually got a guest lined up. So I think in a week, 2 weeks, could be a week. It's written down. It's on my calendar somewhere. Um, and it's just been really tricky to, the load shedding in South Africa has been really too much over the past, not so much this week, but the past 2 weeks of scheduling, especially with the size, been really tricky. So that's part reason why. But we will have the African Genius podcast series. Will have episodes soon. So look forward to that. And all my new and returning listeners, yeah, man, much love to everybody. There's a few of you guys, so much love. And just the last thing on the YouTube shorts, I see you guys are listening to that. So thanks for that, man. I'll be doing much more. And I guess that covers all the formal stuff. I've got a dope ass guest today. We spoke to her I was say last week. We spoke to her last year. Kanilwe Mokuna, my sister. Thank you very much for coming. I love the
Thanks for
hair.
inviting
I love the
me.
hair.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. The hair is crazy. I love it. Man, just before we
Um,
start, we spoke a little bit out of air. I reacted to one of your posts on one of the social media platforms the other day about the 3 years after COVID, how artists are, how people are. I'll just tell you before we jump into it, I'll tell you why it resonated with me. It's because it's actually the first time I've seen that fucking the first time. Like I swear, nobody. It's like COVID happened 3 years ago, and like we just moved on with our lives. You know,
mm, mm,
when I read it, I was like, oh shit, yeah. On my side, I'll start off with my side, and then I'll bring you in. Besides the podcast that I started 3 years ago, it's been hell. I lost fucking like a lot of shit. Yeah, sure, it's money, but it's still my shit, and that is
mhm,
stuff is
mhm.
gone. My flat, I had to move to a different province. I had to go back home to adapt. It's been so one of the things is that the podcast sort of kept me okay, man, because I thought I'm talking to everybody, I'm talking to old friends and stuff like that. So that was really cool.
Mm.
But especially with my one thing that it did affect me this year is I've been making no art this year. Um, there's just been the load sharing had a lot to do with that though, because in the studio when the lights go out, it becomes dark real quick. And in
Mm.
summer, after a while, if the fan's not on, the mosquito, the bugs and all this shit, it's
Yeah.
overwhelming, man. And I don't like that. I just like to work. So that had a role to play amongst other few things. But I thought that was really cool to start off with, man. So yeah, man, let's just start off there. Why did you set up why did you say that? Or rather, what were you expecting to get out of it?
Okay. So, like, I guess same as you. I haven't. That's why I think I actually said we don't talk about 2020 enough.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, and and that's because I haven't seen the conversations, but you never know if they're happening or not. And my intention was to start the conversation that I want to have, right? And I guess that has been, like, in retrospect, the biggest one of the bigger lessons and like guides of like where I am headed. So, like, it's a mix of emotion for me with 2020, but mostly good because At first, I was freaking out. I remember, because, like, and I'm sure everyone was freaking out, and mostly about, like, our, I guess, living security, like my apartment. I mean, same as you, I lost, like, from 2020 to now, I lost what I would say, what I thought was like the biggest part of my success, in a sense, which was like my apartment, my own space, my own independence, if we're looking at it like that.
Yeah, same here.
Um, Let me just go back. So 2020. So yeah, I think a lot of us were worried mainly about like our livelihoods. Now that, like we can't even go to work. And but for me, I'm quite surprised actually how quickly that panic just like calmed down, and I had to just let go and enjoy the pause, because like I was reaching burnout, and I wasn't, like, I was starting to be aware of it, but I wasn't aware why, you know um and and not understanding that, I guess, like how the pause would actually make it clearer why the pause had to happen, or the why I was feeling burnt out. And because we tend to think more work means more security, or like, and that if we stop working, then
Good point.
we die,
Yeah,
basically.
good point. Good point.
So like, so as soon as that, I let that go for a bit, then I started making work more, because just before the lockdowns, I was actually still working for the project space as the director, and being literally the only employee, and carrying it through for, I think it was 2 years at that time. And at first, I could handle it. I felt I could handle it, and I did. But like at some point, it just became, uh, um, it just took too much of the energy that I needed to do my own thing. So when everything paused and we didn't have to go out um, to work and
Cornelia, do you mind
stuff.
just pausing there for 1 second, my sister? Just sorry, just bear with me. My speaker actually just, there we go. Sorry about that. I forgot my speaker was actually on charge. Sorry about that. But yeah, continue.
Where should I continue from?
Just that last, but in the last 30 seconds or so.
Okay. All right. So being able to pause from having to like go to the project space, do that work, and come home, do my work, and then sleep late, and then wake up early, and that whole ridiculous cycle. Um, so I then let go and started enjoying um, the freedom that I had with my time, and and then started shifting into also a schedule that works for me, which is like working at night and like sleeping and resting during the day, which now I realize like that was like a really important shift for me, and my not only um like work productivity and stuff, but also like on a spiritual level, and that is like the something that I'm realizing now. I wasn't aware then how important it was, but yeah, so that shifted, and I got to spend a lot more time doing what I love, which was making work without the pressures of like needing to go out. And all of a sudden, like help came in other ways. Like, for instance, there were a lot of COVID relief funds for like artists. Now looking back, and I was lucky enough to be one of the artists
Oh,
who got
really?
support with rent. Yeah,
Okay.
not the South Africa, not the government stuff that we would get from like Banzer.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Yeah, there was a program that I think it was between Banzer and maybe Business Arts,
Okay.
Basa,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
stuff. They were rolling them out on a, I don't know, bi-monthly basis or something. And then like the maximum support you would get, I think, was like 4 months, and but you would apply every, I don't know, 2 months or something. So that helped a lot with me not having to worry about like how am I going to pay rent. And then all of a sudden, like my work then started selling on Instagram, and now I didn't have to worry about the job that I was doing and using that, and also starting to realize that actually, because like it's a non-profit organization, so I wasn't really making money from it. It was just like, oh, sorry, it was really just more of a passion project, which started to just take too much from me without much in return, I guess. I don't know. So like by the end of 2020 and into 2021, things were just really good. Um, and and then came a point. Oh, so then the lockdowns, before I go on, ended, and we had to go back to the norm.
Yeah.
And I then quickly realized that I don't want to do that. Like, no, like that is not for my highest purpose. And by then, I also didn't need to, because like my work was doing just fine for me anyway. And like, so it made it easier to let go of that. And then, things continued to go well. And then came a point where now, just like there were other, I guess, yeah, other energies pulling at me, especially with like relationships and like just very bizarre shifts in like in especially the closest relationships that I had, and it just didn't make sense. And all of that baggage I took on, and that's when things started now like turning for the worst, in a sense. It's like I came back down to earth, or down to the 3D earth that we're all saying goodbye to, thankfully. But and so like 2022 was a year of me just watching things not work out, and like no matter how hard I tried to like try new stuff, try like learn new things, like I tried my hardest and nothing was working. And that was very difficult. And then so wait, then 2023, I think on the second, that was like my previous suicide attempt. That's how bad things got. I just felt defeated. And like, but I tried, like not understanding that, but I tried everything. Like literally how this doesn't make sense. There's something wrong with this world, and I don't have to be here. I'm out of here. So then 2023, after this the failed suicide attempt, and then like I had to quickly catch up to like what is happening right now, which is like a very, very good turning of the wheel. And like even for you, I hear what you're saying about the things you've lost, like all of that. You know, it's this year was me trying to figure out why are things so unfair, right? Why are all of us who are doing the work, putting in the work, it's like we're still getting all these blocks left and right, and it's like it doesn't make sense. And like, I mean, it didn't make sense to me, especially after I had thought I had figured everything out,
Yeah,
and
man.
like things were going well, and like so okay, so coming back and like realize, trying to catch up with like what did I do wrong, what went wrong, and like how to get back on track, and realizing that, I mean, in retrospect, I guess one could say what nothing went wrong, right? It was just like me resisting letting go of things that were not built on like strong foundations, even though I thought they were, you know, like, or unhealthy attachments to like earthly symbols, like me having my apartment. That meant a lot to me because it was like an anchor of like how far I've come.
Yeah, I know
But
exactly what you say.
yeah, but with me getting so attached to that, you know, without realizing that, you know, that's not a real like marker of like what I'm capable of. Like it shouldn't, it's not, that's not it, right? But me like trying so hard to not lose it, because I thought, I guess I had gotten to a point where I thought losing it means a lot more than it that it doesn't. So like it's like the universe had to like rip it off, no matter how much
Sure.
I like and screamed, and like and and it was until I finally with more answers for the questions that I've been asking, that I finally let go of trying to like hold on to that. Um, that, you know, like the divine plan started to show itself, and like now I'm back to feeling myself,
Also,
and like, and not which is really like, you know, like that best self that I reached after letting go of the threat of 2020. I honestly feel like I reached God mode. Like it was just unreal. You know, it feels like it was like a whole lifetime, but like it was just a year of like really stable ground, and really, and like prosperity, and just high vibes. But yeah, just now, you know, with all the wisdom of like why things had to happen, and I think for me that was the biggest thing, like not knowing why, and why, like, you know, and now coming to an understanding like of like the bigger scheme of things, and how, I mean, I'm also, I consider myself a workaholic, and like not working, not being able to work and stuff. I had to let go of that, especially when I was still holding on to my apartment and they had turned off the lights. So now it's like I had to force myself to try and work during the day, which didn't work. And then at night, it's like it's dark, using candles, and like that not really working. I can't say, like, I have been creating, but like nothing that was like, how do I put, mm, like just for the play of it, because like that is like, that is the whole point for me. Like, that period of my life where like I was like the happiest and like just being my best self. What I create was play, was never work, you know? And like, so now I've just been like, trying, not too hard, but like trying to just like let go of that um, feeling of like wanting to um, do things the old way. Because like I now realize that I don't have to, and I'm at a point in my life where I need to be focusing on other things, but mostly on like um, being present and like just sharing my wisdom and like just having conversations with other people and like um, and helping other people also share their experiences, but also like, for them to get understanding of whatever it is that they're not. And yeah, just following my intuition again, which like, is like the biggest thing, like just living highly intuitively,
Yeah.
and letting things come to you, not just constantly chasing. But yeah, that's really why I started the conversation.
Yeah, you said quite a bit there, and you covered
A
so
lot,
many
a
things.
lot.
But like, I
Yeah.
think that is such a reflection of where we are. Like everything is so layered. Nothing is straightforward. I like what you said about how you sort of. Well, I don't necessarily always agree because I'm like fuck capitalism. But like I took so many years to build what I have, and for something that I had no control to take it away, I'm like, that's just capitalism at work. Um, on my side, I just saw it like that's just the system at work, which
And
is why I
capitalism
don't
is,
like the system.
and yeah, and that's why it's like, because capitalism is based on um, nothing that is grounded in like truth and honesty.
Yeah, man.
That's why
Yeah,
it has
man.
to fall. So everything that isn't based on that is crumbling now.
Yeah, man.
And like, I'm really excited to see like what we as like a human collective, like us realize our highest self without those things that we know like are not serving us anyway, and we've been wanting to
Interesting
let go of
point.
them.
Interesting point. I think we can actually just, go on that there about like what serves. And just for my listeners, just especially for new return listeners, we're talking about the arts. So what serves the arts and what serves artists in particular in South Africa or Africa. But yeah, the quote unquote third world, I hate using that word. I'll just say Africa. But like what I want to say, just before the point on capitalism, I think out of everything that has changed post uh, post 2020, capitalism didn't, and I thought in my career, not my career, on my side, it has definitely you said something that I relate to, where you sort of looked at what you have and see like my success is not really measured on like what I have. I totally get that. I totally get that. Personally, on a personal space, I'm trying to get to grips with it. It's not that easy though, but I'm trying to
It's
get to
not.
grips with it.
I was kicking and screaming. It's not. I'm not gonna say it's easy. I was like, until I lost everything and I had to just surrender. It's not at all. It's
Yeah,
not fun.
it's not. No,
It's
it's
not.
not. It's not. It's not. It's not. And you also mentioned this about your independence. I mean, like I moved out of the house when I was 18. So I was still a young buck, and I moved back in my 40s. Um, so my entire adult life to sort of it's still an adjustment. It's still every day, even this afternoon. But what I what I like about, or rather, what I like to talk about that there is this change. You're saying that you had that suicide attempt, um, and you said that like you sort of, or I take what you said is that like you sort of saw a new purpose. I don't know if that's the right meaning or word that I'm saying, that like you sort of re-looked at your life or reimagined it. And you were talking about like how other people look at you. I can tell you one thing for sure, based off our last conversation. It was last year, I think it's last year this time. It was also cold, I remember. That was an incredible conversation we had. It was incredible. I think the stuff that we said, it resonated. Like people listen to this platform, this podcast, told me, and even my co-host on See That at the time. We spoke about it enough afterwards. Um, I like what you said about we also pretty similar there during 2020. That first, or during the hard lockdown up until about the end of the year, I was also doing a bunch of other projects. We sort of kept the machine going. And to be honest, for everybody outside South Africa, the hard lockdown happened in the beginning of winter in South Africa, and it was cold. It was really cold. So being indoors wasn't always the worst. It wasn't always the worst thing. And a lot of that sort
Yeah.
of isolation and comfort in that isolation, it worked for me. That's why I put together a podcast for one thing, and my business. And
Yeah.
so there was something. And then just like you, like 2022, it was more late 2022 this year. And then there's some
Mm.
load sharing thing. This made everything worse. And now
Yeah.
now we have this tech, this AI and all this tech thing, this Mursa wave that's coming in. And I had a conversation, and I want to pick your brain on that actually, because one of the things that I find this is fucking dope, where your online presence is like some of the freshest shit I've seen. I
Oh, thank
fucking
you.
relate to that stuff. Like, I think the memes, which I think is too dope, the dark sense of humor,
Oh,
it,
I mean, the moon
it
it
cracks me
saved my
up, man.
sanity in
You see what
2020.
I'm saying? Like, I see that. I see exactly what you're saying. Like, it's so weird. Like, in some sort of dark sense of humor, there's a sense of enlightenment there. There's a sense of like, oh, I'm not the only one.
It was like the greatest gift for me in 2020, like just being able to find the humor in the absurdity of things. It was like just such a beautiful saving grace.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is, and what I think about your work, because your work doesn't make any specific statement. I don't even think it. Definitely not from I look. It doesn't say like I'm saying this, but it's just beautiful, intricate detail, very organic type of shapes and stuff. And I think that
Mm.
the dark sense of humor, they sort of. I love how they. It's dope. I mean, it's dark, and I don't think everybody gets it, and I don't think everybody's supposed to get it. But some of us
Yeah, I
get
guess
it.
yeah, it's for us because like for me, the dog has been like the bigger part of my being an expression
Yeah,
for
man.
like a huge part of my life, like over a decade of depression. And like, so now coming into, it's like, like transmuting it with humor, like is like the best way I can still keep it
Yeah, I get
in
you.
in my life.
Yeah, what I do,
Yeah.
I save all the memes on my phone, and I have a little
Oh
album,
yeah, same here.
and
Like my
and then
phone,
like I
like
go through them a lot, and like I've seen it 1,000 times, but it still cracks me up. Um, and it's substantial. There's a good couple of hundred there, and especially if I go back to the older stuff that I sort of forgot, like how.
yeah. I just recently had to start deleting the older stuff. I had literally 3 folders of uh, of like over 1,000 memes each that I always keep there in database to like respond to things or to share with
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
someone,
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
with,
yeah, 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 yeah.
like, so I've had to, now I'm left with one because I needed to make space, but they're infinite. I'll find them again.
Yeah, no, no, I feel you there. It's
I
a
even
complete
started
saving grace.
making ones, which was really fun. So yeah, I mean,
I
yeah.
actually considered that at once, but I don't think my humor and my use of language, whenever I just thought it was whack, and I just gave up.
Yeah, I
But
mean, I, for me, that came with like just, exposure.
mm,
Like, for instance, like I just started joining meme groups and like also meme creating groups, and it just rubs off on you.
mm,
It's like, like, because I've never been much for like comedy or anything, and like when I started enjoying comedy, and that kind of, I don't know, brought out my sense of humor
mm,
in my own unique way,
mm,
like
mm, mm, mm.
being able to integrate that to like the way I look at life, like, and that helps because then you're able to like have a sense of humor even about yourself, and like the ways in which you are not being the best to yourself, and like having a sense of humor about that, like, allows us not to be too hard on ourselves.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Another fellow artist once told me that artists take themselves too serious. And I think he was dead right. Way too serious. Like life is not that, and that sort of buys into what like losing like shit. It's not easy, but yeah, it is what it is. Now I fully get you there. The dark, just the point on the comedy. What I've actually done, and this is in this since 2020, as that I've sort of dived, I guess, a bit deeper into comedy. I specifically got, especially during this load shedding bullshit. I watch comedy. I've exhausted. That's why I'm actually quite frustrated because I've seen almost everything, and I'm always looking for new content. I came across some of
Yeah,
the Mexican dudes channel last night actually, and there was some funny shit there. So like I'm always and like I'm always with series and stuff like that. There's always like this dumbass comedy that I don't worry with, but like I'm always checking out new stand up, and I'm very
yeah.
and my humor is also it's not everybody does it for me. I need
Same.
deep shit.
So it was weird for me, like in 2020, when I suddenly started finding humor that I actually relate to. And like, I mean, it was a long period of like just finding the best of the best. And then at some point, I wasn't finding anything interesting anymore. And I think that's when I dove deeper into memes, because like,
Mm.
like you don't have to wait for like the whole special to
Yeah.
laugh. It's like,
Yeah, no, I get you. I get you. It's
yeah,
there. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
No, no, I'm with
it's
you.
there, it's big. So like, I even stopped trying to look for the. I feel like it'll come to me when it exists.
Yeah.
I feel like I've gone through all the good stuff now. Oh
Yeah.
no, no, no. But something recently that it actually came out in 2020. I don't know if you're aware of Bo Burnham. He did uh, I don't know, it's hard to even call it a comedy special, but it was put out on Netflix in 2020. I didn't watch it then, but like I just recently went on a deep dive with it, which like sort of reflects, I guess, the yeah, meme culture, but like in like I don't know, he integrates internet culture and
Mm.
like humor and it's just beautiful. Check it out.
Is it
I
Bo?
think that's
Is it the pronounce name?
it's a good
Bo?
way
Bo,
to
what is it?
reflect on Bo Burnham,
Bernard. Okay.
B-O
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Burnham.
Okay. Appreciate it. I
The
will.
special is called Inside.
All right. No, no. I'll do
Yeah.
it sometime. Yeah. Nah, nah.
I
I'm
mean,
with
I
you. I'm
didn't
with
like
you there.
watching it. I usually will start with like commentary on things that seem interesting, and then I'll go into it. But yeah, if you have Netflix, go for it. It's very introspective. It's so good production wise. Like just overall artistically, it just put the idea of comedy and
Yeah, man.
music and all the arts into one not too serious yet serious thing, and it's beautiful. Yeah.
I hear you there. And just to the listeners, remember to like, subscribe, and comment to this channel. And I know there's a bunch of you watching this that can totally relate to what we're saying, especially if you're on the creative side of things. Like the vast, overwhelming majority of my listeners are anyway, so I'm sure you guys can relate. Kenilwe, we'll just close this session real quick and start the next one.
Okay, cool.
A lot of really poignant points that we made here.
Nice.
Right?
Yeah.
And like I dig the fact that okay, maybe not the right way, but you really speak open about suicide. That's actually quite a fuck, man. I don't know. I just think that's a heavy and that's a mature thing. Um, Given that
Yeah.
the times we are in and like on this platform for my listeners, I'm not trying to romanticize anything. I just want to have conversations around it, and I don't want to sensationalize anything either. I hope I'm consistent like that for the next 10 years or so because I really don't want to go left or right of any of those. Because I think those are such sensitive topics to artists anyway that you just, yeah, man. So, yeah, man, let's just restart the session and I'll get you
Yeah.
up
I
in
mean,
a minute.
like before we go, like for me, like I think now more than ever, I want to like remove the stigma and like the grimness of
Yeah,
it,
man.
and like but more than just suicide, just death in general. Like I've never, like saw death as a negative. Um and I've never feared death. But like because society has this insidious and like and and it's absurd that we fear death, which is the one thing that's inevitable. And now knowing with like all certainty that